Hi. Good evening, Professor. Uh, Today we are presenting SQL injection attack, detection and prevention. Myself, Rohan, is Ray, Smith, and Shubham. We are team Believe. Today we will discuss our project on SQL injection attack. In this session, we will explore our project flows and covering the key assumption, uh, attack strategy, detection mechanism, and defensive improvements we implement. We also reflect on our project limitation and suggest that what we can improve and discuss how this stimulation related to the real world cybersecurity scenario. Let's move further while talking about the agenda. Uh, Here, basic outline of the presentation, uh, explanation of the SQL injection and SQL assumption behind the stimulation, lab environment setup, tools used and why we choose them and other our alternatives, attack strategy and how we collect the critical data such as IP address, session, detection and defense strategy along with their drawbacks, some disadvantage or area of improvement. Our key takeaways how this project can be applied in a real world scenario. By end of the presentation, you will understand that how SQL really its work and how we approach it both offensive and defensive, and what measure can enhance web application security. Further slide will discuss by my friend.
Okay, so in this slide, we are discussing methodology and attack phase. So first of all, we are going to set up the DVWA, which deploys the vulnerable web application on first kind virtual machine and creating a realistic target on SQL. The second we are going to do is configure the mode security and initial setups for of mode security on the DVM virtual machine to monitor and later block the malicious traffic. And after that, we are going to SQL map the attack launch and initiate the SQL attack from the second Kali and Ubuntu virtual machine using the automated tool SQL map. Now, Shubham will continue.
Hey there. Methodology for detection and prevention. So in this, what we can do for detection and prevention is that first of all, log analysis. We can analyze logs of previous incidents or anything recorded that may look suspicious. And then there is mode security rule creation. In other words, like mode security is a tool that is you that has several rules set already in itself that prevents like attacks like SQL injections or anything related to OWASP top 10. Also, there is application hardening, like implementing secure coding practices, which does not require other external tools, but improving the security of application itself and retesting before production. We can retest the application servers or web applications so that in production we don't face same issues or vulnerabilities exploited during during production or release. Now, further slides will be demonstrated by Taria.
Hello. So, perfect. So, what will be our first line of defense? So, which will be parameterized queries. So, we will be uh, like while simulating, uh, demonstrate the real world protection require more robust practices such as parameterized queries and input sanitization are essential. Product system would integrate ORM framework, prepared statement at all layers, continuous code review pipelines. We did not implement all of this due to control lab settings. but we'll be trying our best to mitigate the attack and identify it. Uh, if I talk about input validation, which will ensure users supply data uh, is in expected formats and types, rejecting any sanitizing invalid inputs such as special character which is used at the backend code. For example, strictly allowing only numeric input for an ID field and just alphabets for alphabet field. These techniques are fundamental for building robust, secure web application from the top to bottom. If I talk about what we have learned in this project and the takeaways from this project. So, uh, first of all, hands-on experience with executing and detecting SQL injection. We have gained practical skills in log analysis and web application firewall configuration. Uh, we have understood how reconnaissance play a major role in successful exploitation. Uh, and how this applies. So, uh, useful for rules in penetration testing, web application security, and DevOps. We have demonstrated how stolen session cookies and IP inside like majorly improve attack precision. So, these are the main points: SQL injection mechanics, web application firewall configuration, ethical hacking tools. We have used SQL map for here, log analysis and rules. Develop skilled in analyze log and creative effective detection rules. Perfect. So let's move forward to the lab demonstration. Perfect. So we are using three VMs here just for the demonstration. So Ubuntu one, this is the server where our web server is hosted using Apache, which is DVWA server. It has the address of 192.168.91.136. It can be also verified from the terminal over here, like ifconfig shows the same output. So on this web server, we have implemented list privileges. So if I show you DVW security, it has been set to the very minimum. If I talk about the other Ubuntu server, here we have implemented some of the security techniques. The configurations are same for the server, but we have implemented some mitigation and monitoring configuration so that when we do the SQL injection attack, it will show us that someone is doing an attack. And we are using the Kali to do the attack. If I talk about the IP address of the secure server, which is 192.168.91.158, which can be also verified from over here, which is ifconfig. Perfect. So let me first try to do an SQL injection, which is not secure. So first of all, I will try to gather all the OS related information where the web server is hosted on, and all the information related to the database and web application hosted. So uh, as mentioned earlier, we already have the cookies for web server. So I'll be using this first command to find out information regarding OS. So if I hit enter, I'm using banner because this command helps identify the database type and version. It is used early in attack for quiet reconnaissance, works stealthy. Perfect. So after we are using MySQL to do this attack. We are using cookies over here, batch and banner, and as we can see here, like we can find the information regarding OS, which is Linux Ubuntu, web application, which is Apache, a version of it 2.4.58, a backend database server, which is Linux Ubuntu, and we also have the banner which shows us the Ubuntu version as well. So now further will be explained.
Uh, yeah, as Theria explained, a banner and everything's like work steadily using the existing session cookies and in offensive phase, use attackers quite recognize. Uh, let's DPS. For DPS, uh, I will copy the command. Yeah. DPS, I got the all the information. You can see that list all database on backend after confirming and successful injection points. That's from DBS database. Apache server helps understand the scope of the data we target, and on based on that we get the information about the table, username and password, all the things. The further things will be discussed about Smith.
Okay, so next command we are going to use is tables. So let's first copy the command. So here I use the table flag. So that table focus on a company DBA database, and company also provides a list of internal tables which are in a DBWA database, and it provides the sensitive information in it. So let's run this command. So after running this command, we got our output, and as we can see that here our database is a DVWA, and we found two tables. The first one is a guest book and the second one is a user. Now Shubham will explain the next step.
So now that we are done with the recon process, we'll start attacking the fun part. So let's see. So as for the vulnerable system, we found that it has a table named users. So we will be fetching data from that users. And what we want is user, so username and password. Most probably the passwords will be hashed. However, that's fine. We can crack it offline. Now, running this command. This command has subparts that defines its risk level and other queries. Now, running this command will first questions, temporary file, yes, and dictionary based attack, no. As you can see, we find the usernames and their respective passwords, but in hashed forms. We can crack them offline on a later date. So this is how we we can get usernames and password using SQL injection. Now, that is all using a different system. How can we confirm that on the system that we are using? So on the server, we can see that here it is a text input field. We can enter one and it says user ID exists. And once we enter something like this, one and apostrophe, and then press enter, there was an error. So it did it did take the input, but it didn't return anything. So that means it is vulnerable to SQL injection. Now, moving on to making it secure and again trying to attack it. Uh, Rohan will further take on.
Perfect. So we are done with our attack part. Now we will move forward to our detect part. So as mentioned earlier, like we will be using a different VM. Uh, it has the same configuration for the application, sorry, web server, but we have inputted some like or configured some mitigation tools uh, on our this server so that we can detect the attacks. Perfect. So let me I'm going to use the same command which I used earlier, where I will try to gather information regarding OS, web application, version of it, and different kind of. So, and we are using cookies as earlier, but just on a different web server right now, and same parameter as well. So let me hit the command. Okay, so as we can see here, like we have got the warning. Previously, we have not received any warning where HTTP error code detected. So like web server have detected our that someone is trying to gather the information for SQL attack. So as we can see, the warning HTTP error codes detected during run. So 403. So it has logged out us, or it has broke the connection with us, so that we cannot get the information which we need for our SQL attack. Further,
For detective, as discussed by Dheerya, like a banner, defense testing. Um, it's rerun the command, and let's copy the command. Yeah. Before executing the command, for DPS, the aim is to retrieve the database names again, and any alert or log during the process indicate working detection. So, yeah, here is the available database, a DBWA information schema and performance schema. Further, we'll discuss by the my friend.
Okay, so in the next step, we are going to use the next command. So for tables, we are going to use the tables flags. So in a SQL map, so after running this command, it will shows that internal tables inside the community data DVWA database. So when we run this command, company found the database and the two tables, guest book and user. But this time we got warning for the HTTP error codes and detected during the run.
As for the last part, since we do get the names of like tables, but let's see if we can get the usernames and passwords using the same command as before. As you can see, it says 403 forbidden 34 times. So it says 34 times because it ran 34 scripts, but none of them work and return 403 forbidden. And that concludes our lab. Thank you.